Hello, hello. So I have been wanting to make a video on a recent 3D printing project that I completed finally. However, all the footage I got for it was corrupted or slightly off in some way because DLive's downloading of streams is kind of finicky and broken, I'd say. So I'll just show off the mask and talk about it a little bit. Back in June or July, I'd say, I had a friend. He asked me to make him an Oni mask. So a mask being like of a demon from Japan. And I think I can maybe send this to an editor. So I'm going to try that out. So let's see. Uh, put the Oni mask on the screen here. Fuck you. Anyway, so back in July, he'd asked me to make this mask. And so I had gone about the process of making it in Blender. And it took me a pretty long time to go through and get all the pieces together until finally I had gone and gotten it for the most part completed. There were still some graphical errors on the actual model, and I didn't know how to correct it. And so something I'm wanting to kind of do with my 3D models is put out one model for free and put out another model that's higher quality, that's actually going to have some of its errors corrected potentially, maybe having it be more wearable because the mask I have here is not very wearable. Yeah, it's not exactly wearable, so I think I was going to make a V2, and I was going to V2 a lot of my other models and go from there. So I spent lots of time actually modeling it. I first actually went through and traced the model using vertexes, and then I bent the model, and then I started to extrude the model's various surfaces and to actually get the features, and then I put a surface modifier on so it actually was smooth and versus being kind of blocky looking. And that's how I got the current model. Now, when it came to actually printing it out, why did I make this in December when I had it done in maybe September or August, right? And it's because after all the work I went through to actually get the model to be complete, my printers were breaking. So, well, my one printer broke, or at least I didn't know how to replace the hot end because the hot ends were filled with plastic. There was like a separating of the Bowden tube from the hot end. My thought process was, well, I'll buy a new printer, and so I did that. And then I came and I put it together, and there was a bunch of factory issues on the second printer. I bought an Ender 3 Pro, and I had been using my Ender 3 Standard Edition from like when I first started printing back in April, and it had worked fine for about 3 to 4 months until it finally had an extrusion issue. But even then, the Pro did not work out of the box. I misidentified the issue a couple times. I spent my money on things that were not the problem. I gave it a new power supply, and I fixed little issues, like there was a problem on the y-axis, and there was a problem on the extruder, and there was a problem with the Bowden tube. So I ended up just going through piece by piece and trying to figure out what was wrong with the second printer, while also having the first printer not work. I had school kick in finally, and I couldn't focus on it for basically October through November, I'd say, till a little bit midway-ish through December. Finally, I got to work on it. Pretty much fixed my first printer just because it had a simple extrusion issue. Just pretty easily fixed that up, actually. And then after I got that one working, not soon after, I got my second one working because I had fixed enough little pieces of crap on it until it's finally working. Now my first printer is actually not working again, and my second printer is the only one working. So fortunately, I still have a working printer. And yeah, so the final result is this. This took me a very long time, considering everything I just talked about and what I went through. I'll put on my face. See, it doesn't quite fit my face. It needs to be more up here. It needs to be more up onto my cheeks and be more full and actually round this, because clearly I tried my best to round the vertexes of the face and its features, but clearly it's all kind of front. It's all up on the front and not very spread out. The features aren't really spread out throughout the face, and it's kind of small. So I'd probably want to do another version of it. Maybe in black next time. Black's a cool color, like black with a red mouth and white teeth. That'd look cool. But I still am very happy with this. You can download it. Now I think I was just going to do another brief little talk about what I want to do with my 3D printing on the channel, because I was really wanting to do more models, and I really enjoy 3D modeling, and I kind of been wanting to do 3D model streams of something new. And I have plenty of ideas. The problem being is that it just takes a lot of time, and I need to get better at the process of modeling to reduce the amount of time. I think I should do 3D modeling streams more, and you can follow my DLive. I will still do it on there. I'll just try and figure out a different way to download the streams later on, because downloading it using the process it tells you to kind of creates problems with the playback. It should be fun, I think. But what I'm trying to do actually with this channel, and what I want to do with more models, is that I'm trying to upgrade my setup. And so my goals long term are going to be to make my printers print in carbon fiber nylon, which is a material that is equivalent to aluminum. I'm going to have to do a lot of modifications to get there. Also, it'd be cool if I could get a exchange nozzle head. So it basically, like, I can swap out the end and then get a CNC drill on one end. That'd be really cool to do milling. Or maybe, I mean, I might just buy a CNC alternatively. But these are just so I have the options to work with harder material. And I think that while modeling art projects, essentially, and I still have some other like modeling projects that I need to do. Like, I'm going to redo the knife for sure, my knife model, and put that up for some money on my Cults 3D account. Check that out. Follow there. It's really good. While I'm still going to work on some 3D modeling things, I want to work more on, I think, robotics and stuff like that. So I want to use more like stronger material to potentially do stuff that's a little bit bigger. Stuff, maybe drones. When I say robotics, I mean drones, and maybe a robotic manipulator I make myself. And another thing I want to do is I want to make my own 3D printers by using the carbon fiber nylon, which is equivalent to aluminum, to make the frames. If you can see the frames, the metallic frames, replacing the metallic parts of the printers with the carbon fiber nylon, which is a material I can buy, and these printers can print with. So I can actually, and if I make and I'm getting an upgrade called the Ender Extender, which is going to make it bigger, so it can print the whole frame versus being like, a printer of one size can't print its own size frame because it's its own size of the frame. But then if you make the printer slightly bigger, you can make a base frame using the slightly bigger printer. And that's what I'm planning on doing. It will be a whole ass project, and I hope to document it next time more thoroughly on future projects and stuff like that. So I'd say, yeah, if you want to follow my DLive and stick around for more 3D printing content.